Okay, with Sean Winslow, Petey Possum is a short film. It's 5 minutes long. It's from the Comedy Film Festival. Yeah, nice little animation, funny film. This kid is trying to get to a birthday party. Simple in its concept, complicated in its humor, I guess, right?
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah. It was very much inspired by when I was a kid going to Chuck E. Cheese, and it was not that drastic of a situation that Chucky went through, but yeah, so it kind of sparked from there.
Yeah. There's a lot of Chuck E. Cheese's in Staten Island, where you're from.
There's just one now. I don't even know if it's still open, but yeah, when I was a kid, that was the place to be.
That was the place to be. Yeah, I've never been there
Yeah.
before. I think I'm going to go there in a couple of weeks to see what it's like.
Just you, just hanging out at a Chuck E.
No,
Cheese,
no,
like,
no.
oh, I want to
There's a
check.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to go and see the kids.
Oh yeah,
That's
this
not
is
me being
cool. All
here.
right, I get the appeal.
So tell me about the animation process of this film. Have you done a lot of animation movies in the past?
Yeah, so this is my fourth animation that I made, and it started out pretty much around the pandemic where I was writing stuff, like writing short sketches, but I didn't have any way to actually shoot them because, we weren't allowed to be around other people. So I always drew, and I got introduced to Procreate around that time as well. And so I was drawing characters in Procreate, and then my buddy told me about the Adobe Character Animator,
Yeah.
which if you have Adobe Suite, then you have access to Adobe Character Animator. So I started looking into videos with that, and yeah, it's all about rigging up puppets and then learning how to make them speak and everything like that. So it started from there, and then I just let the ball roll from there pretty much.
So that you have the pandemic to thank for I guess your success in a way.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. It brought a lot of chaos, but it also, brought me this new skill. So, woohoo!
But I'm on your Instagram page and you got lots of cool animation. I like the Guy Fieri animation. That's pretty funny.
Thank you. Yeah, he's with Bob Belcher, and it's based off of Fear and Loathing.
Yeah, exactly. It's very good. It's there's a lot of like inside humor, I guess, with that picture. It's very funny.
Yeah, very much so. I combined multiple things into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I was just like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if Bob Belcher and Guy Fieri hung out, and then it just turned into a Fear and Loathing bit, and yeah, and then I
It's
drew
from
it.
Bob's Burgers, right? So
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
just to give people
Oh,
context.
I assume that Guy Fieri would have went to Bob's Burgers on Diners, Drives, and Dives, critiqued him in such a way that they were like, all right, we have to go on a trip together because we love each other.
I'm here on this strip and it's going to Bob's Burgers. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to do my Guy Fieri. I don't know if I did a good job there.
I think you nailed it.
I'm here on the west side of what city is Bob's Burgers in? Does they even tell?
I know Long Island, I think.
Oh, are they in Long Island? Okay. And
I'm
then,
pretty sure, yeah.
but it also says that it looks like you do some stand up and you're in a band. Like you're a pretty busy guy.
So those are old pictures. I have done stand up. My buddy, he used to do this variety show, and so I've done stand up there. I've done sketches there, and the band picture that you might be seeing is that was an old picture. My cousin was in a band, and they had me up to sing Colt 45 by Afro Man. I don't know if you're familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, so they brought me up, and I did that, and someone snapped a picture. So I thought it was pretty funny.
And then, so this is your, like you said, this is your fourth film. So tell me about this. Like you said, the idea was that just like this guy wants to go to Chuck E. Cheese, I guess, right? This kid wants to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, so it's a birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese knockoff, which is Petey Possum's.
Yeah.
And
Or sorry, I should say Petey
when I
Possum. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah 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 when what I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese, there was right before Chucky would come out in his suit and like sing Happy Birthday to you.
Yeah.
They showed on a television above the stage him getting ready essentially and like cuts in between. So it'd be like him getting a haircut, him getting his nails done, and so on and so forth. And so I thought to myself, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if he was getting ready, but things kept on going wrong every single time you saw the cut.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it just got more intense, more intense, more intense. And then yeah, he finally shows up and things aren't great.
I like the little subtleties of the parents. For some reason, I got a kick out of like how you drew the parents in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
film.
you'll notice you'll notice that if you look at their style
Yeah,
and just like the ambiance, everything is kind of 90s a little bit.
yeah. But even like
So
the
if you pay,
even like the way the shoes, the one guy with like the Nike shoes, it's like these like parents are
yeah,
like kind of like it just like it's you nailed it. You kind of nailed that kind of suburban kind of like middle class kind of vibe going to a birthday party.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, so what I would do, like I had it in my mind, I was like, all right. So as I was drawing it, I was like, I kind of want this to be set in the 90s based off of my own experience.
Yeah,
And I just started looking up 90s fashion and just my Google search is very weird. It's like 90s mom, 90s dad, 90s shoes, and then yeah, so it just started just taking off from there, just drawing a bunch of those types of things.
yeah. And then so you gotta like yeah kind of like so this kind of is a kind of nostalgic film, but it still relates to today, if that makes sense. Like people, because really not much has changed in terms of the kid birthday party. It seems like.
Yeah, yeah, kids are still rowdy and rambunctious and screaming and chaotic.
Yeah, there's an event, right, where you pay a lot of money to go to this event. So in this case, it's Petey Possum's, Chuckie Cheese, and then kids eat a lot of sugar and pizza and junk food, and then they for 2 hours, and then they go home.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then they just raise hell at the place and then go
Yeah,
home and crash immediately.
yeah, and then the place, a business makes a ton of money because they overprice everything because it's a kid's birthday party.
Yeah, exactly. Like a cake that you would normally get for maybe $5 is about 30, and it's fueling the children's just angst and behavior, and then they take it all out on the parents and Petey Possum actually.
And then there's societal pressure because every kid's got to have the birthday party too, right? So
Oh yeah, and then the parents have to show off to the other parents saying, "Look what I did! I had my birthday party at this place is way better than your stupid little birthday party at your
exactly.
crappy little home."
Yeah, there's little competitions going on, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, what I'm telling you is that not much has changed since you were a kid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't gone to a Chuck E. Cheese in a while, but I assume it is pretty much the same. The only thing that's changed is the commercials for it. They've updated Chucky. They've made him a little less horrifying.
Gotcha. But
Yeah.
there's still all these like it's these kids' birthday party kind of hubs, which are cash cows, and people make a ton of money with.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah, there were plenty of different locations when I was growing up that's where the birthday party would be.
All right, so you voiced a few of the roles, correct? And then you got some of your friends to do the rest of them, or your fellow actors to do the rest of them.
Yeah, so I voiced Petey, I voiced the kid, uh, and I voiced like some of the younger kids, and I voiced the guy in the bus, the bus bully I called him. And then I had a bunch of my cousins. This is what I did for the past few. I would have some cousins and friends, and I would just bring a microphone to their place and have them read the lines and just go over and over and say like, "Ah, can you do it in this inflection?" And they would just do it, and it would last about 20 minutes, and then I would go home and edit it.
Got that's pretty cool. And then, so how long would it take you to do all the drawings in the film? How long did that take?
So this one in particular took about a year and change, like a year and a half maybe. There was lots of stops and starts in between, just because I was like, ah, I'm getting sick of drawing all the same stuff. So take a break, draw something else, focus on other things, and because it's so much detail and all the backgrounds and stuff, and I wanted to be detailed. And for this one, I wanted to have some more animated gags, like in the beginning with the kid with the paddle ball, and he gets hit in the face.
Yeah,
Like that took like 2 days to do, and it's just like for 5 seconds in the beginning of the film.
but it's worth it though.
Oh, 100%. When I finally nailed the way I wanted it to be, and then I added the sound effects, I you heard the hallelujah chorus. You were just like, wow, all right, this is incredible. This is what it feels like to draw something and bring it to life.
So speaking of that, who did did someone else do your sound design, or you did it yourself?
No, no, I did it myself. I used this company. I saw an ad for it,
Okay.
artlist.io, and they just have a whole folder of sound effects, music, anything, and you pay a monthly fee, and you're able to get everything.
And you,
And when it comes to like the sound editing, yeah, I did that myself as well. That was also on Adobe Audition.
so how are you comfortable with sound design?
I had to get comfortable. That was another thing that I was just, when I first recorded it, I did notice, background noise and everything. I was like, all right, so how do I get rid of this? And so I just like went through YouTube and went through every little thing that I could just to fix up the sound.
Yeah, 100%. So then you just found someone, you just grabbed the music, like you paid for the person who did the music. That's how it works.
Yeah, and you'll at the end of each of my films, there's one in particular that it's like a little rock for the credits, and that's my buddy Ryan. He's in a band called No Big, but he's been doing the music at the end for my credits for the past four ones, and he really started it off because the first few times I didn't have any music, I just had some sound, but he was always the guy that I would go to get like because he would specify the lyrics to the short itself.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
so basically, like the film's doing well. I guess it's getting in other festivals, like, and it's getting some traction.
So far, yeah, just a few here and there, but I just got a notification today that I got into a Toronto one, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, you should be. It's a good film. It's so. What did you think of? We send the audience to you. What did you think of what the audience had to say about your film from our festival?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I honestly did very much enjoy that. At first, I was just like a little worried as to what people would say, obviously, but the some of the reactions were genuine and they complimented the voice acting, which is something that I tried to pride myself on. Like I'm
Yeah,
able to do different voices, so I was happy about that. And one girl said the animation style is very punk rock because like I very much uh, get my style from Bob's Burgers and Family Guy and stuff, but also Beavis and Butthead or Life and Times of Tim. So that's all like very simple animation, but the story is funny, so you're able to watch.
yeah. You're definitely channeling your inner Seth MacFarlane, I guess, with these films.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah.
Like doing the animation, doing the voiceovers, doing multiple voiceovers, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. He's definitely an inspiration. I would watch videos of him when he was 25 working at Johnny Bravo, and then when they would show him starting to draw like the characters, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. And yeah, it's him and Mike Judge are big inspirations for me because they just pretty much they knew what they wanted to do and they just made it. And like Mike Judge made it himself, and Seth MacFarlane had the benefits of working in the industry already, so he had a little bit of help. But there were guys that just like I have a vision in my head and I want to do every little bit of it to get that vision out there.
Yeah, but at the same time, Seth MacFarlane did it himself. He just had a different journey, I guess.
Oh, yeah, 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 very much so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and now they're
yeah.
both
That was, I mean, that was on him.
now they're both doing live action comedy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think Mike Judge he went back to he's doing Beavis and Butthead. I know he has another not a claymation, but another show on Peacock. I forget the name of it, but yeah, he's exploring a different avenue of animation.
Gotcha. And so is this what you aspire? Do you want like a television show?
Yeah, I would like one. I've written some ideas and I write scripts and everything like that. So the ones that are simple, I would try to animate myself. So that's why I have like short little sketches. But the ones that might require, a little bit more production, I just write the scripts for and send them out to, awesome film festival and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there's some Staten Island comedy roots, I guess, right? I'm assuming you're aware of that.
I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean?
No, there's a few very famous comedy actors on SNL.
Oh,
One,
yes. Yeah, Pete Davidson, Colin Jost,
yeah,
also the Impractical Joker guys. They're all older than me, but they went to the same high school as me.
yeah. So it's kind of funny, like one little pocket, one like this conservative island in Manhattan. The only right wing place that are in New York is like this big comedy hub. Of course, I'm generalizing. I'm just hopefully you understand my
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, you're not wrong, and I feel like it's the people that come out of the comedy hub, will come out of that comedically, or say like recognize that and be like, this is absurd, this is ridiculous. I'm going to make fun of it. That's what Pete Davidson was extremely known for, just you know crapping all over Staten Island, and everyone would get pissed, but everyone who was in on the joke would just laugh at it.
But then again, he made a Staten Island love story movie, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, King of Staten Island.
What did you think of that movie? What are people? What do you think of it? And what do people of Staten Island think of that film?
For the most part, I mean, I hear mostly positive things. People, I mean, I personally, I did enjoy it, and like I always find it interesting when you're seeing like the streets that you grew up on in a movie, especially one that's directed by Judd Apatow. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting, and like you hearing all the stories. I actually, after they wrapped, I saw Pete Davidson, Judd Apatow, and Bill Burr at the St. George Theater as a benefit for the firemen
Oh wow. Okay.
and at the NY. Yeah,
So yeah, so you got Bill Burr from Boston, right? And then you got
yeah.
Judd Apatow. I guess he's from Long Island, but it's like what I'm trying to guess. The point I'm trying to make is that Apatow's got the outside perspective of Staten Island, and then of course Pete Davidson is like this is who he is. This is like he is Staten Island in so many ways, right? So it's a two different artists, kind of like in their perspectives of the island.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, because like you have Judd Apatow, who's great with story and also great with just letting the people who want to tell their story let them
Yeah,
express it in whichever way they want. And then he kind of just like molded, saying like, all right, maybe you should go this way with it. And so it becomes a cohesive story instead of just random little bits.
yeah, yeah. He's a like because he's a good guy to know, I guess, because like he did it for Amy Schumer, right? He did it for Pete
That's
Davidson.
right.
He did it for I'm trying to remember his name. Um,
Kumail Nanjiani, he did The Big Sick, which was great.
but he did he direct that? I didn't know if he directed that, but yeah, but he produced it, I guess, right? So
I know he produced. Yeah, yeah. I know he like helped him out with it. I know he was a big part of it. And
yeah,
there's also that show Love that was on Netflix that came out a while ago.
yeah. I was thinking Seth Rogen. He did it for Seth Rogen, right? So he basically gets
Oh, true. Yeah.
he gets these comedy actors and he kind of builds a story around them and he lets them write it and kind of like what he did with Amy Schumer and we did with Pete Davidson. He like these people are on the cusp of like superstardom. He finds them and then like he tells their stories and they both become very like successful films.
Yeah. Well, because like if you think about it, like Judd Apatow, he's made his own movies, like Knocked Up
Yeah,
and 40-Year-Old Virgin and stuff like that. So he was telling his own story over and over again. It was like, all right, well, I know plenty of funny people. I want to help them, especially up and coming funny people. I want to help them tell their story.
and he made a movie called Funny People.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so then you feel that influence of like would you want to be on SNL? Like was that something that you would aspire to?
I've considered that in the past. Like I go back and forth with it.
Yeah.
Mainly the live aspect really freaks me out, just because it's so like you hear the stories, it's so fast paced and everything. But I have seen animated clip. Well, I mean Judd Apatow, he had some stuff on SNL way back when, and there were animated clips. So I would love if that was ever a thing again. I would love to participate in that, just to like pitch sketches that would be animated that would be on the show.
Yeah. And then so then yeah, like Colin Jost, he marries a superstar, right? So he must be like a
Yeah,
he must be a legend in where you come from. One would assume, I don't know.
that I mean, yes, you would say he's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's kind of tempered down a little bit, but yeah, when he first started dating Scarlett Johansson, everyone was like, "Oh my God, you guys know this guy's from Staten Island? Oh man, he's got some smooth moves."
Yeah. Now he's married to her.
That's right,
All
and
right, so
still
what do you
crushing SNL, still doing an update.
yeah, he's doing Weekend Update and he's got that great smugness. He's very good at that handsome
Yeah,
smugness. He's nailed that
yeah,
routine,
very
right?
yeah, very punchable face.
Yeah, 100%. And okay, so tell me about what are you working on now? You're working on another animation film?
So I'm working on what I wrote, like multiple episodes to a show, like a web series idea. So I'm starting to slowly draw that, and I have an idea for another animation that I'm just writing the script for because the production would be too much for me to handle. So I'm working on those two things simultaneously.
Gotcha. And so what do you do? Like, do you just kind of like do this on the side? Are you kind of like, this is going to be, you want this to become full-time eventually?
Yeah, it's essentially a hobby that I would love to turn into a career because I have my full-time job that I work Monday through Friday, but I usually get the work done like on the weekends or in the mornings or when I come back. Like when I was editing this, I just didn't go out for 3 to 4 weeks. I was just like, all right, I have to stay in and finish this film.
That's pretty good. That's dedication. Yeah. No, it's like you're onto something.
Yeah.
It's like I did. It's just like I know that the thing is that it takes time, right? Animation takes a lot of time and energy, and but yeah, I just find some collaborators and maybe you can kind of work. I guess if you get somebody like if you work on with somebody else, then it's like the it picks up, of course, right? But it's like I guess it's the right people you have to find.
Yeah, it's the right people. I know there are avenues to check out online, trying to find 2D animators that can help speed up the process.
Yeah.
So we could just like both like I could pay them to do certain scenes and stuff like that. But it's just about finding people that would be able to mimic my style. So
Yeah.
it's just trying to browse and figure out who can do that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the next step for you to kind of take your career to the next level. It's like learning to collaborate and yeah, like I said, it speeds the process, but then it also feeds your creative energies, I guess, too.
Yeah, big time. Whenever I work with somebody, it's some of my favorite things. Like that's why I would love working in a writer's room or something like that. That's because you can pitch a joke and then we just go back and forth with it, like, and they can raise the bar and vice versa.
100%. I think that's where you're headed. I think that's your next step.
I hope so.
All right, man. Well, keep in touch. I would love to see your next film. We're all like, I thought this one's got some subtle brilliancy to it. It's like you really nailed this world, and I appreciated what you did.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for having me. This is cool. This is awesome. My first podcast appearance ever. So
All right, well, let's make it the second one when you make your next film.
hell yeah.
All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, let him in.